Hello and welcome to my Son Different. So today is a mukbang and I'm gonna have a Tex Mex breakfast. I don't know if you guys ever had one before. I just have water with lemon in it and the Tex Mex plate. It's all protein, so it's no pancake or waffle or nothing like that. No hot cakes. It's just meat. I got a tortilla, some turkey sausage links, an egg with cheese on it, some beans with cheese in it, and hash browns, potatoes, chopped and toasted. And I have ranch dressing just to taste it. It's buttermilk ranch dressing for my haul. I just want to try it. And Valentina on top of my egg. My mouth is watering. And so this weekend was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of relaxing and stuff, and the beginning of the week was very, very kind of, I don't know, I just felt like everything was getting caught up and I was doing really good. And now I feel like, I don't know, I just feel so different now about things that I've been into. And I don't know, like I'm at a different level than I used to, so I have way more opportunities than I did. And I think that by um by having those options and stuff, like it gives me more freedom, not just creatively, but business wise, because there's a lot of people I don't fuck with. Let's be honest, there's a lot of people that don't fuck with me. And those motherfuckers I do not want to mix elbows with. I do not want to mix with, period. I would rather them just fall off the face of the earth and I would be fine and dandy. And we call them out once in a while on this channel. But oh no, let's try this sausage link with some of that buttermilk ranch dressing. Mmm. And a potato. Mmm. That's really good. I'm gonna try some Valentina and link. Super delicious. And so I got some of the egg stuck to the beans when I was cooking them. But I mean, it's all good. I'll just make a taco. And um, so I don't know, like I feel like a lot of people kind of they like to they like to cap, like, they were down from day one when we know they were not. We all know they were not. And it's like people who want to be in the industry, they just, I mean, they lie too much. Like, it's like, it gets old after a while, but, you know, they think because, like, there's opportunities, it's like, it's like your options if you're legit, if you're legitimately, you know, what you say you are. But a lot of people that get in the industry are here from payola, like say Farty Beats, she's only here from payola, and nobody would want to work with that thing, that troll, that walking talking human troll. There's so many disgusting people that it's like everyone's like gorilla, and these are panelists, like get over it. Hmm. And they try to get you to sell out, they're like, and there's a lot of people like me that, like, if you fuck with certain people, we're not gonna fuck with you. And like they try to get you to sell out, right? Like sell your soul for the industry. They're like, well, you know, if you do a collab with so and so, we're gonna get you more listens or whatever. You know what I mean? And it's like the most disgusting person on earth, you know? Like Takashi 6ix9ine or something. Academics started rapping or something, and people are like, "You'll get in." No, people will play your music, and young people will go to your concerts, and you'll just be like every other, you know, viral artist. They like you when you act like Ariana Grande. They like you when you're a complete disaster, when you're considered a problem to society. They love that. They love it. It's like edgy, but dark, you know? There's like a sinister cloud, you know, above you. And to them that's like the drama, you know, that lingers. They're drawn to it. They want to see what happens next because they know somebody's gonna meet their due. That's what I would like to say about a lot of people, you know. Like take those kids from Chicago. They didn't give them any options. They didn't give them a way out the game. 5 years old. Why are they in the game? You know? Then you have people wanting to hunt them down. Like, what is this? Like, you know, what is it called? The Hunger Games? Like, fuck out of here. They're children, and by law, she's liable to be sued by the families because she was the adult there. I know that because I'm a community leader, and a lot of times during events that I have to activate for, I end up with, you know, a lot of kids around, and they're like, well, if anything happens, if it's good or bad to you, you're in charge. You're liable. And, you know, there's so many contracts you have to sign and so many things you have to do. And they're like, we don't care if another kid from a rival gang comes and shoots you. That kid's family, that kid's mama could come and slap you with a lawsuit because, you know, they went to jail. And that's the way life works. Um, when you're an adult, you hold a responsibility to offer kids a way out of the game. You know, if you see a kid in trouble, you don't just be like all in their face and like, oh, what you gonna do? Or well, my kids are here too. Or oh, well, what are y'all gonna party here, standing here, or y'all gonna go to school? You know, I'm not blind. I see this woman in a cat suit. You know, and regardless of her black feet or not, she had 40 inches in her head. And bucking up to a bunch of kids who weren't just like 5-year-olds, there were like 8-year-olds too, you know? And you don't know, maybe some of them have behavioral issues. Maybe some of them have PTSD. Maybe some of them have this thing where it's just like they never seen a woman like that, a modern woman like that. And they just react a negative response because they're kids. They only see white and they only see black. They don't see the gray where there is options. You have to really prove and show that you can be trusted and offer them these options, these things that will drive them to success. You know, that's why I'm so happy that I work with people like Diddy. I work with people, you know, who are dedicated to helping our youth and project them to another level in like a career, you know? And I think, like, you work with so many different activists, like, you know, people who know their shit, and people who are full of shit. Definitely. Some people, they activate just during a time when somebody they know is getting clout. And all of a sudden, they got all the answers, honey. And none of them work. If they worked, they would be very successful. Other people would be well fed. And their mama would own like 10 mansions. Get the fuck out of here. You're crazy. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You know? I'm dedicated to making something for the kids because I don't want them to end up having to walk to school together just so that way people would be afraid of them. Nobody's afraid of kids, obviously. Look at that lady all in their face, you know? And I know there's like inner city constraints to where even their even their funding's impoverished, you know? Regardless of how much the parents, you know, they dell out like so much money, but you know, when the government's not helping them, it's like, you know, when the I'd say the school district is not interested, when there's no longer an interest in them, when their kids are not enough for them to hold an interest in their education, that's when you see things just fray away. You don't have to move out of Chicago to give your kids a good education. You don't have to move out of Chicago to have really great neighbors. You don't have to move out of Chicago to have, that type of community where everybody backs each other up. I think these kids still go to school together. They still have to work together, regardless of which side they chose, um, because it was a big brawl. You don't know what side they chose. They still have to communicate together, and you know and that's not going to be their only fight. It's not. So I mean, a lot of times people don't have these options where they can just up and leave, and I think that's the situation that she found herself in. I think the situation that she found herself in was one where she wanted to be in a penthouse on Instagram with a Range Rover and some thuggish husband with, big chains and a grill or something. That's what she wanted. She didn't really want kids, even. So I'd say her virtue signaling as pregnant, I don't find that at all interesting or entertaining as the latter. I find that a symptom of today's modern times. Anything fuse. A content baby, perfect. A brawl with elementary kids, perfect. Because today's society will pick the side of the adult rather than, allow the kids to have another chance, rather than let the kids mature and become educated on better, you know, better choices, and let them find opportunities within their community that they can grow, you know, they can grow because I think when you find your inner strength, nothing will phase you. Nothing. Nothing will phase you. It's a lot of kids for you to doubt. It's a lot of kids for you to cast judgment on. There's a lot of kids for you to threaten with death. And they did come to the internet to apologize. Let that sink in again. Let that sink in. I just, I don't understand. You know, they didn't wish anything upon any kids. I didn't see them touch the kids in the beginning of the video. They didn't touch the kids at all. When they pick sides, of course they're going to fight. They're going to be hurt because you're my peer. You're my classmate. You're my schoolmate. We're on recess and playgrounds together. We kick it after school. Hell, if she wasn't here today, we'd be walking to school all together. I'm going to be hurt and emotional, and I'm just a kid, so I see white and black. And either way I choose, it's going to be based on the state of my mental capacity as a child, elementary school child, albeit child, you know. Now, as for grown adults, like I said, in the industry, we know our choices and options, and we weigh them. And any modern woman, any modern male, which is, I guess we call beta, um, any man who's outside, per se, you know, they make their options and choices. And if they want to go a certain way with their career, which essentially leads them to the gutter or jail, you gotta go your way. You gotta make sure that your direction is headed in the right path, that you can be a role model. You can be idolized by the youth. And eventually, when you do come up and you get there, I want people to say, hey, look at that person with moral compass. Anybody can do it. And, and make it look so easy. Like, come on. And these people think that you can't breathe air without catching a case. And that's what these kids look up to. And you wonder, what were these kids thinking? I don't know. What were these kids thinking? What do you force feed them at home, on the TV, on their devices? What do you force feed them in magazines? Even in literature, I've seen some trash literature. Don't wonder. Do your research. Do your research. 9 times out of 10, are you playing Nicki Minaj? Or are you playing Taylor Swift? You know, don't virtue signal. Don't virtue signal. This is just strictly music. I'm saying, do you entertain your kids by putting on a cat suit and bucking up to their friends, or do you entertain your kids by sitting down and reading with them? Wholesome book, maybe an American book, one of those novels, that they're gonna read at school and help them, project them to where their future is that much more of a, you know, undoubtedly success, because that's what really matters today. I mean, we're talking about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because all those ninjas in the industry, in the stew, that I don't fuck with, you know, I don't I don't want to see them succeed. I will not. I told everybody, and if you haven't heard, I will not be in the same stage. I will not shake a hand or rub an elbow with a degenerate. I will not. No, sir. You're not gonna put me. You're not gonna put me. Drag my brand like that. You're not. It's the same way I feel about kids. We all have to hold responsibility, is what I'm trying to say. Like I said, look, Takashi 69, no matter what, he virtue signals because something happened to him, for example. You know? And he's a man, so it's like he's gonna get slapped in court with, the maximum whatever. So he's talking about Thursdays his court date and he's going in. Like I said, some people know because they've exhausted every avenue of opportunity that could have projected them to succeed. And in saying that, they were handed those opportunities and choices on a silver platter, whereas kids in Chicago, they don't even have, you know, a breath of hope, allegedly. You know? So, I don't know, but these death threats are, you know, I think even more pressure on the community to try to save the youth. Like, it's just stupid. Like, they already have the stress. The responsible people who are leading these neighborhoods, to, rise above what has oppressed them for the longest time. And here you are doing the worst you could to a minor. Hmm. But, those days of toxic influencers, they might not be gone exactly now, but one day we're going to be tired of their shit too. And what I think is that maybe they're going to find another form of entertainment. Maybe they're going to find something else for the kids. And I just want to be a big part of, implementing that for the future. I plan on making something big, some type of organization dedicated to giving the youth options and choices in life. And I hope you guys back and support me because, you know, all that ragamuffin trash talk just made me ill. How are you that far along and in the face of a little kid? Then you end up in the hospital and both of your kids too? So there's a lot of growing to do, you know, and there's a lot of work to do. And I hope that you guys are down bad enough that y'all could say, yeah, I'll be there, you know, and we'll see it through. We'll see it all the way to the top. And, maybe we'll change the minds of the other folk, you know. Maybe we won't. But to be honest, I really don't give a fuck no more. That's how I am right now. Um, I really, really think that we need to focus on our people. We need to focus on our people and continue fighting for what's right and, taking each and every opportunity um, with, you know, I think like being more thoughtful about things, not taking them for granted, because that's giving, you know, that's giving toxic, it's giving modern world and, you know, the culture. And I really wish better for all of us. All of us. And like I said, the only people that could possibly be hurt by our poor decision making, our negligence, our abandonment of duty is the kids. But thank you guys for watching. If you do like this video, give it a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one, my Sunday front. Bye-bye.